Black owned. It's about business, our culture, creating legacies. See us, hear us, support the movement. We are Black owned.
I'm Ms. Define of Black Owned Reporting. We started Black Owned Reporting in the midst of COVID. The COVID epidemic not only affected small businesses, but entrepreneurs as well. The videos on this channel focus on small businesses with their accomplishments. So I'm here with Lloyd Williams. So we're gonna start off with you introducing yourself to the people.
I'm Lloyd Williams.
So you are not only an entrepreneur, you don't only own one business, you own multiple streams of income, I should say. Because it's not really businesses.
Yes.
So we're gonna start off with, I believe, your game, right?
Yes.
So this is the first time we've actually interviewed someone who created their own game. So the game is called The Reality of Life.
Correct.
So tell me a little bit about how that got started.
Tired of the same old board game?
Yes.
Well, try this.
What is this?
This is The Reality of Life. The board game will teach you many of the things that you'll one day experience when you grow up. Some of these are: learn how to pay bills, the difference between rent and mortgages, the value of having a bank account, learn the destructive and costly lesson of doing drugs, how to deal with daily expenses and the value of money you earn from work, how to deal with difficult situations that life may bring you, become the money manager by being the games banker, learn how to become financially literate on how to avoid debt and the cost effects of money mismanagement, and lastly, learn how to be responsible for your own life and take accountability for all your actions.
Okay, The Reality of Life came about around 1998. I don't really understand why I came up with the concept, but it's been something that's been in my mind for a long time. In 1998, I actually created the game, and me and my friends used to play with it. And then just last year, I just got tired of it sitting in my book, so I decided to put it on and manufacture it. You know, and it was an arduous task. There was a lot of different moving parts, but I really wanted to do it because it teaches valuable lessons that aren't being taught to our children, and not only our children, as well adults as well. And as I explain the game to you, if you want me to briefly, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, when you start this game, you have to have an employment card, and then on this employment card, it tells you what your job is, the yearly salary, the monthly, and your rent and your utilities. So when a person gets an employment card, this is what they will start the game with. And every time that they get to start, they will have to pay their rent and their utilities when they get their salary, just like real life. And the basic premise is that we want to get our children prepared to start paying their bills on time when it's due. And the real challenge is that every job has a different salary, and they have to navigate around the board with the money that they have. They can't spend money they don't have, so they have to learn how to budget the money that they do have. Some jobs get a lot more, some jobs get a lot less, but they have to budget the money that they do have. Another part of this game, and unfortunately the reality of the world that we live in, is there's drugs in the world. So if you pick this card, this is a drug addiction card, and it's not there to highlight drugs, but to show you the disastrous effects of drugs. This drug is amphetamine, which is the number 5 drug in America. Every time somebody rolls the dice, you gotta pay $30 for your habit. Every card has a different amount of that on it that you have to pay for your habit. You cannot win this game with a drug card. The reason why you can't win is we want to teach the children that you can't win in life doing drugs, and that there's a consequence to doing drugs. Every time somebody roll that dice, it's going to come out of your pocket until you get to rehab. Rehab is the only way to get rid of this card. So that's one of the things. Another thing that we do is you have to have property, because we want to teach our children the difference between rent and mortgages. We want to teach them about equity. We want to teach them about building generational wealth, how to get out of the mindset of just renting and having money go towards something that they can own and that they can leverage later on in life, even if they don't want it, but they can leave it to someone else. So you need 3 properties. Every time you get to start and paying the rent that you would get when you first get the game, you will now pay your mortgage. So there's a difference. and they begin to understand the difference. Okay, this game needs a banker, and we encourage every child or every parent to use their child as a banker. The reason why is the banker is the most important person on this board, because they are responsible for the financial integrity of the board. They're responsible for making sure everybody pay what they're supposed to pay. They're responsible for giving everybody their salary. But the most important thing is that they are responsible. And this is what we want our children to be. We want them to be responsible of the household, responsible of the finances that's coming in and going out. We have tough luck, we have good luck. Obviously, they mean what they say. There's good things that happen, and there's tough things that happen in life. The reason these are important is because these allow for teaching moments. When a child receives something, a tough luck card, and it's something difficult that they may not want to deal with, that's the moment that we can stop the game and we can talk to them about it. Because life is going to present them with a lot of different challenges. The whole premise is to get the child to play the game so that they're prepared for life. Because when they get older, they already need to know how to do these things. And unfortunately, a lot of them don't.
Tired of the same old board game?
Yes!
Well, try this.
What is this?
This is The Reality of Life. The board game will teach you many of the things that you'll one day experience when you grow up. Some of these are: learn how to pay bills, the difference between rent and mortgages, the value of having a bank account, learn the destructive and costly lesson of doing drugs, how to deal with daily expenses and the value of money you earn from work, how to deal with difficult situations that life may bring you, become the money manager by being the games banker, learn how to become financially literate on how to avoid debt and the cost effects of money mismanagement, and lastly, learn how to be responsible for your own life and take accountability for all your actions.
So, where did you necessarily come up with the idea? Because this is how the game, you explained how the game works, but how did you come up with The Reality of Life?
Well, before it was called Reality of Life, it was called Face the Facts. That's the name I gave it initially. But when I came up with this time, I was like, I got to change that name. I don't like the name Face the Facts. And the reason why I say I don't like to take credit is because every idea that I get honestly comes from God. Everything is just given to me, and I just move on it. I question, like, to understand what's going on, but I'm inspired divinely, and I honestly believe it. It was, and we'll talk about my books. My books came that way. The business that I currently run outside of this, everything comes in channels through me, through God. And that's where the concept comes from. So for me to sit there and be like, oh, I came up because of, no, it doesn't work that way. Everything that I have is given to me.
Oh, wow.